Hello, wonderful listeners. Thank you for joining us on another episode. We have Nancy Zare with her fabulous hat, and you know how much we love hats here. So, Nancy is here discussing her fabulous stories about life and health and how it resonates with people as a whole. I would love to just jump right in. Let's get into the fabulousness. Let's go.
Uh, yeah, let's go. Let's not wait because there's so much to share with people.
Great. So, what is it about health that makes you feel empowered?
I'm going to tell you a quick story because when I was around 30 years old, an aunt of mine was diagnosed with bone cancer. And the condition deteriorated to the point where this woman who was quite able bodied became bedridden. And I thought to myself at age 30, here I am, I'm in quote good health, or at least as good as one can tell, unless there's an autopsy, folks. You don't know what's underneath. So I thought I was in good health. And yet here was my aunt who, was clearly waylaid by her condition. And I said to myself, I have got to take control of my health. And that was the turning moment, the pivotal moment for me to become a health nut.
I love it. And I think it's important for people to understand that stuff doesn't have to happen to you for it to be impactful. It can happen to a loved one. It can be something that you see that changes everything, because so many people, they're waiting for it to happen directly to them, and they forget that like all the people around you affect your energy and how you interact, and they have wisdom and lessons for you too. That is like with my mom, she got sick when I was young, and it was the best example of a bad example I could have asked for. And so I knew everything not to do. And because she was sick and still trying to be the best mother possible instead of take care of herself. So she just kept making herself sicker and sicker, trying to serve everybody. And I looked at that and I'm like, all of this? No, never for me. And I've told my mom this, and she takes it as a compliment. I was like, I never want to be you. Your life seems awful to me. And she's like, gee, thanks, sweetie. But it's so it doesn't have to happen directly to you. And through my own experiences, but also watching my mom, it's like, oh no, my health comes first. I never want to push so hard that I get horribly sick. Like that's not why is that a life goal for people? I know the like grind and burnout culture makes it so normal, but no, like oh, the pain Olympics people are not a real thing. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, I totally concur with you. The people around us set examples, and I have to take responsibility for my life. And your mom was an example. My mom has been an example. I remember when I was 12 years old, my mom unfortunately treated a lot of her distress in life by prescription medication. And so I told her I had a headache, and she offered me Darvocet. Now, Darvocet is a drug, a fairly strong drug. She did not offer me an aspirin, which would have been maybe appropriate for a 12-year-old who
Yeah.
had a headache. But she was already into, medicating herself heavily. That that's not the way to go, and I knew it wasn't the way to go. Um, I didn't accept it from her at that time, but that was a very startling moment in my life to recognize that that was what the path that she was on. It wasn't going to be my path.
Yes, it's your health should be whatever it needs to be for you. So like my health, there I always tease people. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm a pharmacy and I know it." Like I have certain medical issues that I do have, like the little pill bottles lined up like soldiers. And I'm like, but I believe that Eastern and Western medicine hold hands. They're sisters, they're friends. So it's like everything that I need from Western medicine, absolutely. Everything that I need from Eastern medicine, absolutely. And so, like, I will be the first to get acupuncture. I love, oh, something you would probably love. Have you ever had ear seeds done?
I have had cupping done, but not ear seeds.
Ear seeds are
Okay. Okay, well, that is something new, earwaxing. I've had that done. But you have your medications lined up like soldiers.
Mhm.
I have my food supplements lined up because I visit a nutritionist and I get tested through applied kinesiology as to what my body needs, and that makes me feel comfortable that I'm on the right path in terms of my nutrition. So there's so many ways to take care of oneself. And
Yes.
when you say that Eastern and Western are, kissing cousins, it's all energy. It's
Mhm.
all energy. So where do you put your trust and your faith energetically? Is it in a Western medically trained person, or is it in some other alternative or complementary uh, form of healthcare? Because wherever you put your trust and faith, that, my friends, is exactly the benefit you're going to get.
Yes. Yes, and I love it. And as you asked that question, I actually thought about it for myself. And my answer, this is my honest answer to that question, me. I put my faith in me, knowing when I need to see a doctor, knowing when need to see an acupuncturist, knowing what's best for me, knowing myself well enough. That's where I put my faith. So it's not an Eastern like and any no, there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. But for me, that's what I actually thought. I'm like, yep, because when I need this, I go here. When I need this, I go here. And I never second guess what I need because I know me. Who knows me better than me?
We're so alike that way because I too have taken responsibility for my health and I have to look inside to know what I need. And sometimes it is, a medical doctor, and sometimes it's energy practice, and maybe it's the combination of both. But I am responsible. And one of the things I've done very early on, Lily, is that although I was employed at one point and now an entrepreneur and self employed, when I was employed, of course, there was a medical plan, but
Yeah.
the medical plan always came with limitations as to what you could do or who you could see or how much you could spend or where you could go. And I made it a decision early on that I, again, was going to choose who and where and what and how much. I mean, I paid out of pocket for services that are not covered by health plans because I'm responsible. It's my health. Nobody else is responsible for my health. I am. And that includes mental health. That one point I was diagnosed with a clinical depression and put on, medication to help me with that. I'm not on any medications at this point. And every time I go see a doctor and they're ready for the list of meds, they can't believe that I'm on none. And that's a choice I've made because of the lifestyle and what I'm doing to maintain my health.
Yeah, and it's knowing what's best for you and honoring that, and that is something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand. It comes from practice. It comes from being gentle with yourself, never judging, never judging. Because you want to know something? Occasionally, what I need is a piece of cake. Not because of ego, not because of anything. It's because my body is craving sugar. It's because that would make my mental health more equal. Sometimes, not often, it's a piece of cake. And other times, like we've discussed, it's fruit. It's fruit a lot of times for me. I will eat tons of fruit. It's it's figuring it out, and it's every aspect of your life. Like you said, it's mental, emotional, and it's not judging. So, okay, it's not judging what you need. It's also not judging if it doesn't work. You just learned something new. That's not a
That's right.
modality for you. Move on.
That's
Find
right.
something else.
I used to be an advocate because at one point I got involved in selling healthcare products because of my interest in natural health and so forth. And, many of us have particular health products or supplements that we, adore. And I was, gung ho. This is the best thing since sliced bread. You have a body. You need this. Well, guess what? Everybody's body is a little unique, a little different, and what works in my body may not work in your body. So, hence, I had to let that go. And speaking of letting go, I don't know if you're familiar with this book by David Hawkins called Letting Go. And I was struck with the fact that at one point he talks about that again, everything is energy. So if you're eating in a positive energy state, whether it's the chocolate cake or whether it's a diet something or other, or whatever you're choosing to consume, energetically, if you are letting go and you're in a space of receptivity, then it's all good. It's all beneficial. Again, our mindset will, energetically change things, like it can only be this or only that. We got to let go.
Yes, I love that. I love intuitive eating. I love mindful eating. People will ask me, so like you with your supplements, right? I usually don't do supplements. I'll do them occasionally, like if I need like a giant jolt of something in my body, like vitamin D, because the skin does not see daylight. But like I'll check in with my body, and people always ask, you don't need your blood drawn to see if your iron is low, to see if you need more vitamin B. Like, those. And I said, I know me. And I know when I am craving steak, my iron is low. And then I will consume a lot of something to create more iron. Blueberries, I crave them when my antioxidants are low and my immune system is starting to falter. I will crave sugary food, like sweet natural food, not like ice cream and candy, but like sweet natural food when my emotions aren't aligned with my path. Like it, and so for me, like the way I eat is very intuitive. Everyone's like, so you check in with yourself and your soul before you eat? Yes. Yes. And no matter what it is, like you said, if it's a piece of cake, if it's fruit, if it's a diet bar, if it's anything, it is serving my highest and best because that is what I am receiving. But I don't know about you, but eating out of shame seems to be one of the most unhealthy things you can do with your life. Like, oh, just why food is good. I love food. You don't know this about me. I am a feral house cat. I love food. And so why something that is so awesome, why feel shame about it? Why make that not a good experience? Everyone loves cheesy garlic bread. Not everyone eats it, but everyone loves it.
Yeah, again, the shame, eating out of shame, eating out of anger, like I'm going to get you because then now I'm eating. I mean, none of these strategies work. It's pouring a cup of poison and then drinking it ourselves.
Yes, and being like determined, like I know that this will work. Bless your heart.
Right, right, right. Right. So like I said, at one point I was pretty rigid about what had to be, and this was, whether it was the health supplements I represented or a health action, exercise, whatever it could be, you know, no, everybody's different and has to find a path. But the one thing I do know, Lily, is that there is a path for everyone. It may not be the same path as the one I'm on, but there is a path. So if perchance any listener out there is undergoing some sort of health challenge, there is a path. Seek out different resources and try them. The first one may not be the answer. Maybe it's not the second or the third, but there is a path for you.
And it'll be completely unique to you. And I always tell people it shouldn't be Instagrammable. Your life should not be something that shows up on social media. By all means, document whatever you want, but your life won't be it'll look different. It'll look messy occasionally. It'll not work. How Okay, let's be honest. How many times have you fallen flat on your face with your own health? Like made a mistake, something didn't work, you took a giant step back. Me? Countless. You're not perfect. You're not meant to be perfect. Mm.
Yeah, I have a recent episode that's actually happening right now. Clearly I'm allergic to something because my skin is breaking out. And the last time I checked with my health practitioner when I had an episode, she tested me, and sure enough, one of the items I was eating in my food plan, my body was sensitive to it. So I know that there's something going on here. I don't know exactly which of the items I'm eating that I'm sensitive to. And then I will share with you, I said to myself, I'm not ready to change, so whatever it is that I'm currently eating, like you said, my body's being drawn to it. And so I'm going to keep eating it. And guess what? I'll just deal with the itching.
Yes, yes, and that's your choice. People
That's
ask
right.
me, I have lots of food allergies. Not lots, some, we'll say some. Um, but then I have food sensitivities. And
Right.
I always tell people, I'm like, I will avoid my food allergies and tolerate my food sensitivities and just deal with the consequences because there are certain things that bring my heart so much joy that a little bit of gas didn't bother me.
Amen to that.
Just
Yeah.
you gotta pick your battles and whatever's important to you, you honor that. If you do not want to be a little toot machine, don't eat the thing. And that's fine. Everyone is different. It's it's always so interesting to see people look at things and be like, oh, I want to be healthy like that. But they're not willing to take the steps to do it, to advocate for themselves,
Yeah.
to do the sometimes very tiring self exploration of what foods are good for you, aren't good for you, what modalities help you best specifically in what situations. Because for me, there are certain modalities like with physical stuff, I do very well with massage. I That's a modality that I do very well with. With emotional stuff, acupuncture is where it's at for me. But I had to figure that out. It's like, oh no, massage, because I was at the beginning, I was like massage for everything. Just go and get a massage. And then I had acupuncture to like release a bunch of frustration about a project at a wellness center that I was working at many, many years ago. And I was like, oh, well, look at that. So it's discovering what works with what issue because it's never going to be a blanket. It's never going to be a blanket.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it to be easy, and it's easy once you figure it out, but you have to figure it out. You have to love yourself enough to commit to figuring it out.
Yeah. And I'm glad that we're talking about not just food because good health isn't just what we eat, it's also spiritual practices. And I'm a very big believer in spirituality and being spiritually centered and grounded. I bookend my day with prayer and meditation. I find that that really helps. You know, there are other practices besides, again, going outside ourselves and using other practitioners. There's the inward journey too. I recently I was diagnosed with cancer a few months back. It happens to be stage 3 cancer, which normally would set people's heart racing and make people
Yeah.
afraid. And I made it a point to say cancer is not a 4-letter word, and that again, by choosing other practices, energetic practices. At this point, I am certain I am cancer free, even though, of course, medically they're not able to say that, but that's okay. I'm declaring it. And,
Mhm.
and again, it's something that's happening from within. It doesn't have to be something we do outside.
Yeah, it's a very us thing. And I think like our environment has a lot to play with that. I call them empty calories, and empty calories are fine. Consume them whenever you want. I choose not to consume empty calories very often. And the one thing in my life that I mindfully consume empty calories with is reality TV. There is one show, it's called Love is Blind. It is absolute trash. It there is no purpose for it other than existing to cause drama, but it is the one like guilty pleasure, like one thing that I will indulge in that has no other purpose than to just exist for empty calories. And so when you look at everything like calories, not like food, but something that you're consuming that will add to your life in some way, you start looking at who you hang out with, the music you listen
Yeah.
to, the prayers you
Yes.
do, the food you eat, the books you read, the thoughts you have. And you're like, is this nutritional?
Yeah, that's such a great way of looking at it, the empty calories and asking, is it nutritional? Because the bottom line is each of us is responsible for ourselves. You might think that there's someone else, you're doing, but no, you are responsible for the choices you make. And even when a doctor recommends a course of action, you're responsible whether you follow that course of action or
Yeah.
not. And again, I've been offered certain, path to take regarding my cancer diagnosis and I'm choosing my own path. I'm responsible. No one is responsible for my health but me.
I love that. I love that. And we are almost out of time. Is there any final thought or pearl of wisdom or advice that you have for our listeners who are on their own healing and health journey to make it just theirs?
Again, I think the message I just gave about being responsible, as well as the fact that you should keep trying, looking for the path that's right for you. Don't give up. If you are determined that you want to heal from a particular condition, you will heal. Look for that path that will help you, including the fact that maybe just changing your thinking.
Mhm. Commit to yourself. Commit to you're worth it. You're worth it. There is not a shadow of doubt in my mind that you're worth it. And I hope that you commit to yourself fully with this journey. So thank you so much, Nancy Zare, for joining us and being fabulous and having so much insight about this wonderfully complex topic. And just it's been so much fun. Thank you so much to the followers for listening. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, bop them in the comments. We are here to help. And if you found this to be entertaining or worthy of your attention or just fun and little factoids, like it so that we know that you appreciate the content that's coming out. Go forth, be the hero of your own story, everyone, and have a great day.